Thanks for staying with us. So we decided to still keep Mrs. Ibukun Awosika with us because we want to ask some, very deep friendship questions.
I've been kidnapped this morning.
So we saw a video, trending online where you talked about evaluating friendships. And, one of the things you said is you need to do it early enough before you begin to need those people so that you don't take the wrong problem to the wrong person or the right problem to the wrong person. You need to understand your friends, know where they fit so that you know who to call when you need them for what. Exactly. And, it just opened my mind to how we make friends. Yeah. You see this person, you like this person, and you just assume that this person has the capacity to be all in all for you without properly vetting if she can even carry the burden weight you're putting on her. So I would like you to expatiate on that. And I know the other ladies also have follow-up questions.
Honestly, it's really about being fair to ourselves. And we have to have a sense of self-protection in some ways. For me, is understanding the impact of voices in your life. And your friends are very influential voices in your life. And any voice that will influence your action, especially in your moments of vulnerability, you have to be sure that if you're sick, are you going to go to a carpenter?
Of course not.
You're going to go to a doctor. Even if you're going to go to a doctor, if you have cancer, you're looking for an oncologist. You're not looking for a pediatrician. Why? They're both doctors, but they have specialties. So when it comes to relationships, there are many people you can laugh with, you can joke with, but you deserve in advance to spend a bit of time and reflect on who they are, what their values are, where are their areas of strength, what are their characteristics in terms of behavior and all of that. And what part of who they are supports who you are or where you want to go. So I always say, look, first evaluate yourself. Have an idea of your own journey. Have a sense of where you want to go. Then determine what do you require? What kind of support system do you require? You can be intentional about cultivating friendships that offer you that. Now, there are friends that are in your life, they make you laugh. But that's a very good tonic. So you know that if you are down, I know who to call. She's going to make me laugh, she's going to make me forget and all of that. However, you won't take the issue of your husband to your friend who doesn't care about marriage.
True.
You're not going to take the issue of your values or your integrity to your friend. Oh, she's a lovely human being, but to her, to sleep with a boss to get promotion is smart. Because she just thinks, hey, what's the big deal? If you have the day that you're under that kind of pressure, she's not going to save you because she's going to drive you in the wrong direction. When it's marriage, you know whose marriage you admire in truth, and don't look at things ephemerally, just on the surface, because sometimes people are acting out for you.
Yes.
Who is your friend who has financial management grounding, who is disciplined about how she manages her resources and doesn't do more than herself? So that you know that when you're not sure what to do, that's the person I will say to you, look, you don't have to do what you can't do. Just, I will support you here and all of that. It's your responsibility to do that.
To find that out.
To find that out. And for the different parts of what is important to you, it's like, how do you choose mentors? Your friends are mentors in your lives. They're your peer mentors. And when you want to choose mentors, do you choose random people as your mentors? No. You evaluate them, you think of what value they bring to you. You know what you want from this particular mentor. That's how friendship. I'm not saying you don't have your general friends, but your general friends are, you go to their father's funeral, you go to their mother's birthday, their children's. They're your party friends. You laugh, you joke. But when you have a business issue, they're not your business solution. If I need to discuss a matter concerning a board, I know who I will call.
So there was a message you shared about when you were appointed as the board chair, and how you went with your friends and they anointed and all of that. And then I had a conversation with my friends concerning it, and we decided that we were going to start praying together. That yes, we pray for each other, we pray together a few times, but intentionally pray together for important moments. But I evaluated my friend, Ma, and I knew my friend was supposed to support me. I knew I wanted to spend the money. So I went to meet her to say, I want to spend this money, I would like your opinion. And then she just said opposite of what she usually would say. And no, she did not change. I just felt that like God didn't want me. God knew what I wanted to do. And I was seeking validation.
She was just looking for support.
Who was going to support me. Then the person did not.
The person you thought
I thought would support me. And then she did not support. But I want to ask you about...
but did she not support you for the right reasons, for your own interest?
She explained, by the time she explained what I knew. I knew what I wanted to do was wrong. And I had justification.
But you were just looking for
it. But I just wanted someone to validate and say, just do. You have only one life. So I was thinking she would say you have only one life. And then she said, no, but you had plans.
That is it.
So I had to just hold myself. I said, I did not come and meet you for this answer. I knew who I would have met for this answer. But God just used you at the end of the day.
It means she's matured.
Yes, she
into who you would prefer that she is to you, even though you might not like it at that moment. But that's what happens. If you have the right friends around you and you have the right conversations, because it's also about the kind of conversations that you have. I'll give you an example. So one of my close friends was appointed as a minister in Nigeria some years ago, and she really didn't want to go at the beginning, but once we realized that she didn't have a choice, she was going to have to say no, we decided that they're going to get 9 for the price of 1. You're going, we won't sit in your office with you, but we'll be in the office with you. We will pray you through, and we will watch your back. And then we set guidelines. You will come back home every weekend, because we don't want you to lose yourself in Abuja, become an Abuja person. We want you to be the professional person that you are, that went there. You'll be focused on the job you went to do and the values with which you went there. And we were praying for her throughout the 4 years. It was as if all of us were in the office. We said, don't tell us government secret, but if there's any fire on the mountain, call us and say, I'm under pressure. I need you to pray a prayer this way. We will take it up. And that was how we saw her through. Interestingly, just as she finished was when I was appointed as chairman of First Bank. That whole infrastructure became my support infrastructure. And so what we've done is always to watch each other's back when you're going into certain places. And what is key? What is your fire? What is burning in your fire? We know that we have an assignment to walk you through it. So and different people, and even within that group, there's specific things that you know who you're going to talk to. You're not going to talk to the entire
even
9.
In the group, even in the inner caucus.
Yes.
Everybody has
you
their
know
role.
who has the strength for what you need to.
So how do we resolve conflict inside that kind of group?
See, there's a level of maturity that comes with that kind of relationship. That when you start working that way, you all mature in a way that you come to understand what is more important than the ordinary things. And if there's any issue, I promise you, the rest of the group will make sure it's resolved. Why? Because we can't pray. A house divided, a house divided against itself cannot stand. So we need to resolve it, because there's no agreement. If there's no agreement, all of us will suffer. So if you have the right kind of relationships and your values are all aligned, you will find ways to walk away from. And it's not just in a faith-based decision, because when we started Wimbase, we were 12 women and a man. And everybody expected, and this is a 23, 24-year-old story now, everybody expected that we wouldn't last, because we were all ambitious, smart girls. Most of us were in our 30s. The older people were in their early 40s. But we decided that our responsibility was bigger than us. We were trying to change the narrative about women in leadership. And we said, they expect us to fight, we must never fight. They expect us to split up, we will never split up. And therefore, we set rules. If we call a board meeting of the trustees, if you don't come As long as we have 5 people out of the 12, we have quorum. Whatever decision is made at that meeting, binding on all of you, you cannot change it. You can't come and say, I wasn't there. Too bad for you. No, that's just the truth. And we stayed together to build. Once 5 of us had been chairs, we decided, you know what, we're done. Let's move to the next generation. After that, that's how we started bringing in the Osai, the Aisha as chairs. We stood back and we were watching. And by the 21st year, we totally exited. Set up a board of trustee for them that excluded us. We're just, we're founders for life, but we're not involved in their day-to-day anymore. We've done our job. We've redefined the agenda. We're leaving the next generation to drive it as it is. Once you're clear about your relationship and what you are seeking in that relationship, it keeps you focused. It allows you to ignore what I call it a discounting policy. Look at your friend. She's not perfect. Are you perfect?
Exactly.
No. So when you look at her, what in her life is the value that serves you?
Yeah.
Oh, she has weaknesses. So do you. How do you overlook those things and focus on what is tangible for you? It makes it easier for you to forgive each other, to support each other, and to have, if there's a problem, you talk about it. If you understand each other, you sort it out and you move on, because life is too short, but for the right reasons.
Let's have more questions.
Mine is not is it a friendship question you have? Because I would like
to go to business.
Yeah, I would like to move to the workplace.
Okay.
So, a lot of us, and I think it's naivety, where we think, I'm not interested in the politics of the workplace. It does not affect me, or I'm above it. The way you even carry yourself, like, you're above it. But of course, as you grow older and you mature, you realize it's
you can't even get away from it.
Exactly.
Yes, yeah.
So how, for me now, is maybe a conversation I would have loved to have had maybe 10 years ago would be, what sort of advice would you give a young woman going to the workplace, especially as it affects office politics?
Look, I think first, never forget why you're in that office. That's a clarity of purpose of why you're there. 2, be clear about your value system with which you're going to function in that office, and put it on the table in the way you conduct yourself and in your language, so everybody's clear where you stand to an extent. Then understand that everybody in the office is part of your life, whether you like it or not. So, when the Bible says, "Oh, no man, nothing but love," it means you must find a way to be able to say good morning to the left and good morning to the right. Do that to the best that you can. When politics is at play, make sure you have a grounding and understanding of the rules of the organization. Understand the laws, understand the regulations, understand what your rights are, understand the rights stand. And then always understand the room. And what do I mean by understanding the room? Know where people sit, where they stand. Know their unspoken alignments in the room. So that you don't go to Miriam to talk about Mariah and say, but meanwhile, they're bestos.
Exactly.
You might not see them together every day, but you don't realize they've known each other since they were in secondary school, and therefore you were just making a mockery of yourself because they're going to talk about what you've just done.
Yeah.
So if you create the right equitable values in how you engage, the bosses that are best, the ones that when you go and snitch about somebody, they say, hey, that happened. Okay, wait, sit down. They pick their phone.
Come here.
Exactly.
You have to say it in front of the person. Why? Because then, what do? You kill gossip and backbiting. Not because you don't want to know what is going on, but if you think something is wrong, and there's always whistleblowing policy in every organization, which means there's a way where you can put the right information out, even if you don't want to be seen behind it. So it's really be wise, be open, be clear about your own position, do your job. Earn the respect of your colleagues based on performance, and don't try and play games, because always every game you play will come back to bite you.
Thank you.
So let me, you have a question, because there's something touched on now that I want to quickly.
There was something
follow-up.
again that she said.
Yeah, should I follow up or
Let me
you should
say
go? Or you go?
something. Okay, so I like the part where you said there were the Wimbies, this thing. You said you people have played your part and you handed everything over. I just wish, but as you were saying that, I was just thinking, I was like, I wish our politicians can learn this. Honestly.
I'm not in that conversation.
Yes, I wish that.
How about us? Sometimes we point at the
So-
politicians too much.
Yeah,
Sometimes
so
us.
at least they handed it over to the young ones. They know that, okay, the young ones are going to be innovative
Next
and,
level.
and all of that. And I know I cherish such kind of friendship. And just like you mentioned, you said when you have a business talk, there's a friend you're going to meet. Me, I don't discard any of my friends, because every friend has something that's...
As long as you know what the value
I
is
learn
that they
from
brought.
them and all of that. So sometimes, you struggle with the fact that, okay, you want to keep a friend, and then sometimes, you can't even balance the fact that, okay, this is what this person brings, and this is what the person brought. There's a sort of, you want to still keep all of them, but
Actually,
you find
is it
out
possible to
that
keep a
two
lot
of
of
them,
friends?
Not for me. Because, no, I have a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Everybody has to be your
friendship is
friend.
different.
Yes.
You see, the challenge is, what do we define?
as friendship.
Friends.
Because I have friends that we don't see often at all. But the minute we see, we know where we're coming from. We know what binds us together. We will go to, ground 100 in one go. That's a connected heart. That's a connected heart and a relationship.
Yeah.
And I don't have to act friend for you.
Yes.
You know I'm your friend. I don't have time, but you know that when you need me, I will show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that kind of trust and relationship is what friendship demands. I don't need to play up to please you. There's some what you call high maintenance friends. I can't have them because I just don't have the time or the energy for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, two things now. When I listened to that and I, had to read some of the comments, and also looking back, I realized that many times we are not even self-aware to understand ourselves before bringing people close to us and calling them friends.
Yeah.
And, I also like you to take this opportunity to advise women who are looking to have sustainable friendships, looking to have friendships that are genuine, right? On how to understand themselves, their weaknesses, what they bring to the table, and know the sort of friends that are compatible with them.
Fantastic.
Because I realize that not
You've
all
already
friends...
answered it yourself.
Yeah, we had a friendship
it's
conversation
true.
recently,
Yes. No.
and it was like an episode of just understanding self-awareness. So my second question, since I've answered this first one, is
Self-awareness is key.
Yeah.
And that self-awareness should drive the decisions you make
make.
about the people that you engage with in an honest manner.
Okay.
Because you see, sometimes we also are not honest with ourselves. You're looking, I want to be your friend because your husband is somebody.
Okay.
That's not friendship. That's me wanting to use you.
Transactional
something.
friendship.
Yes, it is transactional.
True.
And men are better at transactional relationships.
Yeah,
they are
transactional
very
people.
transactional.
Yes.
They know exactly why.
What
So
they
they don't fight because they know the basis of the transaction. Women are emotional. So we're not really good at being transactional. Because even if we think it's transactional, our emotions will soon get in.
the way.
So you need to actually know why.
Yeah.
And that self-awareness is the beginning. It should then drive your decisions as to, and you know what? When the Bible says, "Oh, no man, nothing but love," it's because you can be at peace with all men. You can have, you must always, I always say, behave in a way that no door is shut against you. You must be able to knock on a door and say, "Oh, hello, good morning," because you never know when you need a door. So that is being at peace with all men.
everybody.
But you don't knock every door to go and say, my husband and I, my son and I.
That would be foolish.
Yeah. So that's where you begin to separate.
Yeah.
But have an attitude that allows you to engage with everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah, so the second part of the question is about gossip, right? And I want to believe, I want to believe.
It's impossible.
It's impossible that you've had friends that you people don't just sit down, let
And
your
gist.
head down and just gist. And see something that you don't like and say, did you see that thing that I saw? I saw a post recently where they said gossiping actually bonds
the
women
friendship,
together and helps them last, live longer. It was a study. And I was like, I don't think I'm gossiping enough. People out there who are wondering, Do we just sit all the time?
You need
We're
to
talking
check
business.
what their definition of gossip is.
Yeah, just think about other people, not with a malicious intent. But are you telling me now that you have not gisted
Of
about
course,
people?
you will gist with your friends. But guess what the difference is? It's your safe space. That's why you say between friends, bonds. That means the only people you feel free to have that kind of conversation is already a safe space. You're not wondering,
whether you hear it outside.
The person will go and say it out. Yeah, true.
And the mark of a true friend is that you can feel safe. You can get up and sit down, and I can sit in my friend's house for 5-6 hours. I rarely have time, but I can get up and say, I'm coming to play with you, and I know that I can eat breakfast, I can eat lunch, I can be there till the evening. I'm comfortable, we'll gist, we'll talk, we'll do all sort of things and all of that, and then you spend the day together. It's quality. That's what they're talking about. It's not
necessarily talking about
people. Where I can come to and be vulnerable.
Honestly, gossip largely is considered as negative.
It is.
So having conversation, gisting, just talking about life and things and all of that, and that can involve other people. But
because life is about other people.
Yes, but to what end? In the middle of it, you talk about your children, you talk about your husband.
It's not malicious.
Thank you. It's a waste of time. The time you spend talking about somebody else maliciously, I need it for many customers.
For Africa marketplace, please, man, I want to take you to business.
Hey, now for you.
Please. Business and leadership. I have a personal challenge. I even had a conversation with Mrs. Audrey Zibu on the matter. We have not finished the conversation because she's been busy. So I'm using this to put it out there. Leadership model, how you manage being a child of God, leader who loves God, and then you want to discipline your team. You need to fire in some cases, and they need a salary. You know that they have bills to pay, but they are not performing to your expectation.
And
I struggle.
A child of God.
And you're a child of God, So I like it's an area of weakness, and I would like to hear how to navigate. How would you advise navigating leadership? And
you want to hear how to fire people without feeling guilty.
Without feeling bad. That's what you
question straight.
Yes, straight. Go straight to the point.
I'm like, is it possible? Is it possible for me to be a good person, good Christian, good boss, and
fire people?
Of course. See,
is different.
Bottom line is, what is your responsibility for your role as the leader? And in all things, I have 3 rules. Be just. Be fair, be equitable. What are the processes you've set up in your organization? Being a Christian leader is not about encouraging mediocrity in leadership. Why? Because you are accountable. Even the Bible says, show me a man who is diligent in his ways. He will stand before kings and not mere men. Now, for you to be a diligent leader, you will act right in the interest of the organization according to the responsibility that you have. However, Yoruba people say, Bele, Olako, Olabo, which means sorry has the male or female version. You can be, I'm so sorry. You can, sorry, Joe. I've said the same thing, but do they mean the same thing? Good. So, if I have employed someone, do we have a work rule that says, as staff book, if you do this, this will happen. If you behave this way, you get a query. If you behave this way, you get a second query. If you get 3 queries, what would you get? A warning. If you get a warning and you still repeat it, it means that you need to be fired. My responsibility is to serve God with that role in the best way that my job is delivered. If that other person, and sometimes people are positioned in the wrong place for their talent. So you need to evaluate, are they wrongly assigned or rightly assigned? So you can reposition them to a place where, because then you've determined what their real strength is or where they, and you help them to get there. But if not, it's also about how do you fire? Do you fire wickedly or can you fire kindly? Yes, you can fire kindly. You can say to the person, look, sit down. If you do exit interview and all of that, you can call the person and say, you've worked here for how long? You did this, you did this, you did right. But you did this wrong. They gave you a warning the first time. You didn't correct it. Second time, third time. What does the rule say? At this point, having considered all, I think it's better
We'll
that
let
we
you
part.
go.
Now, what is then your responsibility? To the best that you can, you must also meet your own obligation to the person, whether immediately or thereafter, but you must be clear about what your obligations are. So there's a way that you fire people to hurt them.
Wicked firing.
No, I'm not going to give you a reference. I will do this, I will do that. I will tell everybody you are the devil. If some deserve you to put an advert in the paper about their bad behavior. And
Their picture.
yes, some people do that when they carry the whole company's money and disappear, and you need to find them. You also have a responsibility to protect the institution. So it is not, we mix things up. We act as if being a Christian means we cannot be firm. We act as if being a Christian means that we must accommodate every type of thing. What is your responsibility that makes you diligent and efficient in that workplace? Because you too, you are accountable. And if because of that kindness, the business is destroyed,
Who will you blame?
you have destroyed that which the Lord has committed into your hand.
That's supposed to be nice.
The God that created the heavens created the hell.
Aha,
Also,
you
there's
do
a
well,
difference
so-
between being nice and being kind.
that is it.
So
They're
you
two
need to know.
things. So it's really about being firm, being just, being equitable. You know that everybody will be able to say, you tried with that person, and you have to let them go. If your house help is stealing in your house every day, but she needs the salary, does she think that you need the money she's stealing? Or do you deserve to have a home where you can be trusting and not be on guard
Yeah,
as if you're in a
But what if she
prison?
cooks very well and she's good with the children?
That's your opportunity cost to decide.
Yeah.
To decide.
Yes,
whether
it's
the
you
money-
that then decides you are happy for her to steal you blind just so you can eat.
So you can eat and she takes care of your children.
So that's a choice you make.
Tough
You pay
choice.
the price for your choices. But that's not about you being a Christian. It's just about you making a decision. You're free to make any decision you want. However, count the cost. And then live with the price of it. Consequences.
Okay, before I let you go, one final question. What advice would you give to young women who are trying to build a community? I was having a conversation with someone and I realized that, growing up, I used to see my aunties, my grandparents, go to clubs. They had associations where they hang out. From time to time, if it's weekly, 2 weekly, monthly, they wear this aquachatai stuff, go dance, drink, play, gist, and come back. But now we don't see a lot of that, and I feel
But
like
we do it in different formats.
but I feel like we are putting so much pressure on our spouses to be everything for us.
Well,
Instead of extending some branches here and there to friends to help relieve something. So for women out there who are looking, I would like to build a community of like-minded women, what advice do you think they can look to?
I think that's what we call our tribe.
Yeah.
It's really about you knowing the kind of support system that you need, the women you trust, who can lift you up, who you can share your thoughts with, who are there for you in your moment of need, and who help make your life work in one way or the other. That's your tribe. And we do it. We have it at TIWLC, the first year. It was a major session. We had 4 hours talking about how do you build
A tribe.
tribes that support a girl who wants to go somewhere.
I like
Because there's an intentionality to the kind of tribe you build when you already have an idea of your journey. And with that, you build the right kind of cohort to do that. I do it in different formats. I run this 360 executive program where every class is a cohort. We curate when you're applying
together.
to make sure that they fit. And when a class finishes, it's 9 hours teaching one day, but they have the rest of their life to work with each other. That's the goal. And it's because I understand most women who are career-oriented or business-oriented at that level, you can't run the race by yourself. So what you're talking about exists as a need that is, without any doubt, required for any woman to succeed sustainably. Because there are just days you need a shoulder and a support system. That there's shoulder to cry on, but there's even more than that. Because for the girl going somewhere, you need more than that. You need I need to make something happen. I can't do it by myself. You need a team you call and say, guys, I need help. This is what I need. You need someone that says, oh, I know this, I know that person, I know that person. In 2 hours, they come back and tell you,
It's done.
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
You can go here.
Thank you so much. Did you check the time? No, there's no last question. Sorry, darling. It's 10:53.
Yeah,
The
and I
producers are
need
in
to
my
run.
ear already. Thank you so much, Ma,
You're
for
so good,
sharing with us today. We wish you all the best in African
Thank you.
marketplace.
Success.
I'm looking
Thank
forward to it being a huge success where women
I'm
will sit
trusting
down and
God
say,
for that. No, it's
if
women
not for
and
this
men. Oh, it's
women and men.
everybody.
If not for this
Yeah.
opportunity, I wouldn't have been there. And thank you so much. We took a lot from the conversations on friendships, how to evaluate the friendships, how
bless
to
you guys.
create the rules, the guidelines that would help
Business
us,
politics, office politics.
everything
It was
in
loaded.
between. Thank
And
you
you
so
guys
much,
should
ma'am.
come to the African marketplace.
Yeah,
So you
work
can
towards
see
it.
what
Yeah,
you-
work towards it.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies, for your contributions. God bless you.
Thank
That's
you.
all we can
My
take on the show
pleasure.
today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode. Bye bye now.
Bye.